This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 29th day of May in the year 2019. Here's what we're tracking tonight. A permanent gallery to honor all of the presidents of Guyana was unveiled today at the Parliament buildings. And the unveiling of the Gallery of Presidents forms part of the independence observances by the Parliament of Guyana. Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, said the idea of adding a gallery of presidents to the National Assembly came out of a number of discussions with the clerk and other staff members of the Assembly.
Beyond the observance of the 53rd anniversary independence of our country, our fellow Guyanese and others who in the future would visit here have much to contemplate through the reality of this Gallery of Presidents. The idea of a gallery of presidents which would add adornment and great luster to the National Assembly was born out of a number of discussions with my personal assistant, Ms. Bacchus, later on with the clerk of the National Assembly and other members of staff.
Offering brief remarks was former President and former Prime Minister Samuel Hines, who remarked that too often when we talk about post-independence Guyana, we do not speak well of the country. He said Guyana has come a long way and those things must be looked at and celebrated.
The conventional thing is to speak about how badly we have done ever since our independence. But perhaps because of my upbringing, which was in many places and circumstances, I feel quite differently. And I would like to advocate that if we take a real judgment, understanding of the challenges that faced us, maybe we have not done too badly. In my view, there was the challenge of our 6 peoples, each in a different world, having to work their way and come together. I think many of our commentaries seem to start from the position that that is no big thing to come together. That is something you should expect. But if we look to history and the history of people's meeting, one would say there are great challenges that go to many generations. So I think that we have done reasonably well. I would have liked us to have done much better.
After the portraits were unveiled, President David Granger and former Presidents Sam Hines, Mara Jagdeo, and Donald Ramotar posed briefly for photographs in front of the portraits while catching up with each other. More news coming up in just a moment.
You've got this. And we've got you. With Blaze Superfast Internet. Blaze is fast, easy, reliable internet that you can trust. So celebrate, because there's always more to love with GTT.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Welcome back. The governor of the Bank of Guyana has written to the chief executive officer of Republic Bank Guyana, asking that the central bank be provided with all the information regarding issues that Republic Bank continues to face with some of the accounts of its customers. Over the past several weeks, scores of Republic Bank customers have complained about money going missing from their accounts and deductions being made for online purchases that they never made. Some customers said they noticed deductions for travel and hotel bookings that they know nothing about. After receiving a number of complaints, Finance Minister Winston Jordan held discussions with the central bank governor and asked him to look into the issue. This afternoon, the governor of the central bank, Gobind Ganga, confirmed to a news source that a probe is on the way. He said he has already made requests of Republic Bank and is currently awaiting a response. 2 weeks ago, in a statement, the bank admitted that it was facing some issues with the accounts of some of its customers. According to the bank, through its robust monitoring systems, it was able to quickly identify cases where customers' Visa debit cards were compromised, and the bank was able to effectively minimize the risk to other customers. The bank said it is taking necessary steps to regularize all affected accounts, using a well-defined standard process focused on reducing customer inconvenience. Republic Bank said it regrets the inconvenience to its customers and advises that impacted customers will be asked to confirm and validate their transactions to assist with the process. Let's tell you now that Guyana has started preparations for an official state visit of the President of Ghana. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will be hosted by President David Granger, and during the state visit, Guyana and Ghana will sign a number of agreements to tighten existing relations and also to strengthen new relations for the oil sector. President Granger made the announcement today as he accepted the credentials of the new Ghanaian ambassador to Guyana.
We anticipate that this visit will lay a solid foundation for cooperation between our states. I had the pleasure of meeting His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference last year, and again this year during his visit to the Republic of Cuba. He has accepted my invitation to visit Guyana, and I look forward to seeing him here in Georgetown next month.
The president said he is confident that the visit by the Ghanaian president will result in practical measures aimed at enhancing relations and cooperation between the two countries. President Granger also reminded the new ambassador that Guyana and Ghana are joined by ties of blood, history, and common interests. The president also noted that the 40th anniversary of relations between the two countries is the right time for deepening and strengthening cooperation between the two states. The visit will take place on June 11th and 12th. Well, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry believes the need is critical for policies and legislation to be put in place that would encourage joint ventures with foreign investors for the oil and gas sector. At a press conference today, the president of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, Nicholas Boyer, said there is a need for regulatory measures to be put in place to safeguard the oil industry. He said local companies have created new relationships with major foreign investors as a result of the recent oil and gas conference in Houston, Texas. Mr. Boyer said many of the investors have indicated an interest to do business in Guyana, adding that Guyana must now ensure it has strict policies to protect itself.
We need to get that policy in place. We have been behind. Forest oil is pretty much almost here, and still we don't have a final policy and a legislation in place. Right now, we are depending on the operators' internal policies for how they define local content. But that's no excuse for our government to not have their policy in place.
It is believed that the local content policy and legislation will allow Guyanese to reap more benefits from the oil industry, especially in the field of employment and partnerships. This year, the Chamber of Commerce partnered with GoInvest and took close to 30 businesses to attend the conference, which is considered one of the largest gatherings of major players in the global oil industry. On the police blotter, the Guyana Police Force announced this morning that it has arrested the prime suspect in the alleged robbery on the arms and shooting of popular motor racer Christian Jeffrey. According to a police statement, the suspect was arrested yesterday during a coordinated search operation in the Agricola community. Motor racer Christian Jeffrey and a friend said they were accosted by armed men in the wee hours of Sunday morning after they left the Buja Banton show at the National Stadium. In a statement, Jeffrey said the incident occurred along the public road in the vicinity of Agricola. He claimed that after the reggae show ended at the stadium, he contacted a taxi, but the car got caught up in traffic and he was walking to meet the car when he was attacked and robbed. The young racing champion said he was shot to the ear during a confrontation with one of the armed men. He was robbed of his jewelry, mobile phone, and other valuables. The suspect could find himself before the courts before the end of this week. Across the region is coming up next.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013, with over $10 billion Ghana invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000 barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
You've got this. And we've got you. With Blaze Superfast Internet. Blaze is fast, easy, reliable internet that you can trust. So celebrate, because there's always more to love with GTT.
As a luxury mechanic, I'm often asked, what gas should I use in my expensive vehicle? In other countries, you have regular and mid-grade gasoline known as 87, 89, and premium gasoline known as octane 93 to 95. For affordable, high-quality fuel, performance, and high mileage, visit Guy Oil today. Choose Guy Oil Super 95. Guy Oil, we are everywhere.
Across the region right now, Prime Minister of Antigua Gaston Brown says issues surrounding LIAT are of regional interest and are not private matters or solely for shareholder governments. Brown made the comments following statements by Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley that her cabinet is yet to decide the future of its relationship with the cash-strapped carrier. A week ago, Brown disclosed that Mottley has agreed to sell all but 10% of her country's 49% stake in LIAT. Brown's view is that everyone should be concerned about the fate of the regional carrier. Prime Minister Brown said he does not believe that he spoke out of turn about the current talks between himself and the Prime Minister of Barbados, as it is his role as leader of the country to sensitize his citizens on matters concerning the nation. But the Prime Minister of Barbados has said that when a decision is made, it will be done in Parliament and in no other forum. Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean region are continuing to mourn the death of former Jamaican Prime Minister Edward Philip George Siaga, who passed away yesterday on his 89th birthday. He died in a Miami hospital where he had been receiving treatment for cancer and related complications. Siaga was the last surviving framer of the Jamaican Constitution. At the age of 29, the former Prime Minister became the youngest person to be nominated to the Legislative Council, later the Senate, where he served for 2 years before he became a member of Parliament until his retirement in January of 2005. But even after his retirement, he remained active in the public arena, and later that year was appointed as a Distinguished Fellow of the University of the West Indies Mona campus. Siaga was born on May 28, 1930 in Boston, while his Jamaican parents were on a visit to the United States. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has said charging President Donald Trump with a crime was not an option in his first comments on the Russian inquiry. He reiterated that his report did not exonerate the president and that legal guidelines prevent the indictment of a sitting president. Mr. Mueller did not rule out testifying in Congress, but said he would not give information that was not in his report. Reacting to the remarks, Mr. Trump said the case is closed. Thank you. As special counsel, Mr. Mueller was tasked with investigating Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election in the United States. His 448-page report said it had not established that the Trump campaign criminally conspired with Russia to influence the election. However, it did detail 10 instances where Mr. Trump had possibly attempted to impede the investigation. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.